All right, how's it going, everybody? All right, so today we are going to be talking about driving, um, and the differences between Germany and America. I know there's a lot of misunderstanding, with driving in Germany. A lot of people think like the Autobahn is just this thing that everybody gets on and drives around like they're in a NASCAR. Um, and it's not quite like that, but that's what I think about when I think about that. But these people here, I've reacted to them before, and I'm really bummed out they don't do videos anymore because they are really funny. Really enjoy them, and they're just down to earth people that tell it like it is, and so that's why I chose this video. So we'll get started.
Welcome to Germany versus USA. Today, we're going to talk about driving. Yeehaw! Alex and I are taking a little road trip today, and since we're going to be in the car together for about 19 hours, we figured we'd talk about it. So the first thing...
Yeah, so for those of you who do not know, Alex is from Germany, Jim is from America, but they know each other's culture. Like they just he's been to Germany, Jim's been to Germany, and Alex has been to America. So
that you probably realize when you go into an American
sorry
car that's
guys.
coming from Germany is that most American cars are going to be automatic. So they won't be manual. You will
Right, yeah.
have to schalten.
Yeah, most American cars are automatic. Really, like sports cars or like really luxury cars, you can find in manual. But like everyday commodity vehicles, they're going to be automatic. And in Germany, like when you go to rent a car, you're going to pretty much get a manual.
Most likely,
Yeah, and so like I grew up. My
Really?
dad taught me how to drive a manual.
I could not do that. Oh my gosh. I do know how to drive stick, but it's not I haven't drove it in a while, so it'd be probably a little bit rusty. Um
On some of our old cars, but I've never personally had an everyday car
right?
that I drive that's a manual. All my cars have been automatic.
Okay. And then another thing you'll notice when you get into an American car is it's usually huge and has is a pickup or is a huge truck. I mean, just the size of them in general is way bigger than the German cars.
Well, we gotta have that so we can fit like our 18 cup holders and TVs and everything
Blue
else.
rifle guns on the back.
Yeah, just everything that goes in there.
Yeah, for real.
I mean, and of course the mileage, der Verbrauch, is a lot higher with these cars, right? However, in recent years, there's been, I guess, kind of change of a mindset also a little bit.
Yeah, no, my first car, I had a Jeep, and I got 12 miles per gallon.
So that means you could basically cover a distance of 12 miles, which is around 18 kilometers, 90 kilometers, with 1 gallon, so 3.8 liters, right?
Right. And now I had a car in between it. Good old Lincoln LS, this black stallion ghetto sleigh. Drove that thing till the wheels fell off. But that car got about like 20 miles per gallon. And now I have a Camry.
It's called Toyota, right?
Yeah, and I get about 35.
Right.
And then if I bought a hybrid, I would have gotten about 42. So, I mean, the gas mileage here is so much better in just a quick amount of time.
It's true. And I guess the gas mileage in Germany they've always been fairly good at it, but then if you get like a Porsche or like a high-end Mercedes or BMW with a big engine, I mean, you also look at it like...
Well, you see a lot more diesels in Germany too than here. I mean, really, you don't... diesels are usually work trucks, and you'll see maybe like a VW or old Mercedes diesel, but really, there's not a lot of diesels here.
And sometimes you...
Right, and too, like in the southern states, we'll only have one type of diesel, and there's two grades of diesel, basically one everyday diesel, and two is the winter diesel, because diesel will gel up. And so we had a really harsh winter Like I have a buddy who drives a VW diesel, and his diesel kept gelling up because he
What?
couldn't find like high quality diesel to like basically run through his car.
Oh, okay.
So he had to go to a commercial gas station and get permission to buy diesel from them to put in his car.
Oh, that's interesting.
Wow.
Also, if you look at the road people,
So diesel, there's vehicles here that use diesel, but most people use gas.
you will see that the middle line is yellow, whereas the outer line is white. I think in Germany we only have yellow lines on construction works, I think, on the Autobahn, for instance, and then all other lines are white, I think.
Yeah, no,
What's that mean?
I think we've talked about this before,
Right.
and yeah, that's right. We have the yellow lines, and then we'll have the straight line, which means no passing.
Right.
Dotted line means you can pass.
Yeah.
It's similar, yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, really.
But what's the difference between the white lines and the yellow lines? I've never even really like paid attention to that, whether we have that as well.
Driving's pretty similar, except I mean, there's a few differences. One, in the United States, every state has their own laws, and we have 50 different driver's licenses.
Right.
Right. Germany, it's one.
Super bitchy expensive one.
Right, yeah, I mean, what, like $3,000?
What?
Yeah, it's between $2,000 and $3,000, I think, right now. So actually, we have a video about the driver's license. It's called, it's a really old video, but you can find the
Holy
link at the end
cow.
of this video. But yeah, driver's license in Germany is very intensive. It takes like 20 to 30 hours of actual driving lessons and takes theory lessons, and yeah, it's about between $2,000 to $3,000.
See, that is crazy to me because that's not what we have to do. Like, we pretty much have to. You either have to take driver's ed, or you have to a person that has a driver's license could drive with you and teach you. Oh man, that's crazy.
Like dollars, so €1,500.
What do you think the percent of Germans who have their license is? Because like being in Hamburg, you don't need a car. So do a lot of your friends who grew up in Hamburg have a license?
Yeah. Yeah, most people, almost all people have a license. I mean, occasionally you'll meet someone who doesn't have a license, but that doesn't happen very often. Usually all people have licenses.
Okay, so expensive. I think my license, when I got my first license at 15, I think it cost $10.
Oh yeah, and also the age is different, right?
Right, and they've since changed that. Now, like, Mississippi is...
Yeah, but once you learn how to drive, then you have to take a driver's test, which is like a multiple choice test. I don't know how many questions they have, and then pretty much if you pass, then you got it, and you have to pay for like the license and the license plate and the driver's license card. That's what you'd have to pay for.
That's 16 now. Most states are 16. There's a few where you can get a worker's permit at 15.
Yep.
You have to have a license for your job. And then I think it's usually 16.
Okay, so yeah, in Germany you can do like a company driving with 17, and then if you want to drive alone, you got to be 18, as far as I know.
Yeah, and they also have different laws too. Where I really like this law. Now a lot of states are going to, when you get your license at 16, you can for like the first 6 months or so, you can either have one adult, so someone who's 18 or older in the car, or no one in the car with you.
Okay.
Because between like texting and just how ADD teenagers can be in general.
ADD?
Yeah, attention deficit disorder.
Okay.
So just not like
paying attention to traffic, right?
Yeah, but basically they're.
Was that not a thing in Germany? That's funny. So one thing I have noticed throughout the years, not many things change. Like with the driving, it's pretty much the same. The roads may change, but the rules pretty much stay the same. But the driver's license always used to be like long ways, like the landscape way, and then like everybody's license was like that. And now if you are under the age of 18, then you get one that's up and down. So makes it kind of easier to look at the license and know, okay, this person's underage or, whatever else.
The drivers, if they're going to hurt somebody, just hurt themselves almost. Like, give them time where they're more responsible before they have to deal with the responsibility of having passengers.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
And then a couple other differences is, for instance, in most states in the US, you can turn or right on red. So if you're at a traffic light and it's red, you can almost always take a right. If you have to look out for the traffic, of course, like yield. But then you can take a right, right?
Yeah, you can. And then also the stop signs are different too, because in the United States, it's pretty much first one who gets there can go.
Yeah.
I mean, there are some laws. I think it goes either.
When it's a 4-way, then it's pretty much like whoever goes first, and people get mad when you cut. It's pretty much like the honor system, but you'll get someone flipping you off if cut too many times.
Clockworks or counterclock, but no one really pays attention to that. It's just kind of who gets there first.
Yeah.
Where in Germany, it's always to the right.
Right, rechts vor links. Yeah. So and actually the turn on right on traffic lights, you will have that sometimes in Germany will be indicated by like a green dot, I think. But that also like you don't see that very often.
You also have way more roundabouts. I love roundabouts. Actually, I went to school in a city that had a roundabout, and then living in Nashville now, we have one roundabout. And people, it's like rocket science.
This is a pretty old video, but
they screw it up all the time.
We have a lot of roundabouts now. They're making them just more and more of a thing, which is really nice. A lot of people somehow think it's like difficult, and it's really not.
Insane because it's so efficient if it's done properly.
Right, exactly.
It's a nightmare if people don't understand it.
Yeah, no kidding. Then another one actually is HOV lanes. That's kind of interesting. So on American interstates mostly, right?
Yeah.
Interstates is the equivalent to Autobahn, whereas highway is rather a Landstraße, like a country road, right? So right now we're actually driving on a highway, right?
Yes, we are on a highway. We're actually on Highway 33. So that's a state highway in Alabama, going through the backwoods of nowhere.
That's kind of awesome. Anyway, HOV lanes. Do you know what HOV stands for?
High occupancy vehicle,
right?
Yeah. So 2 or more people.
Right. So that means will be an extra lane on the interstate. Usually it's the very left lane, right?
Right.
Yeah.
It's always on the very left. It has times too. So going into Nashville, basically, if you're on Highway 65 and you're coming into Nashville, you will have 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. is HOV.
So it means it's reserved for cars with 2 or more people inside, right?
Right.
What?
And then leaving town, though, so if you're leaving town, the HOV is 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. And the reason they do that is because so much traffic flows into the city.
We're going to go back a little bit and try to understand that.
Do you know what HOV stands for?
High occupancy vehicle, right?
Yeah.
So 2 or more people.
Right, so that means will be an extra lane on the interstate. Usually it's the very left lane, right?
Right, it's always on the very left. It has times too. So going into Nashville, basically if you're on Highway 65 and you're coming into Nashville, you will have 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. is HOV.
So it means it's reserved for cars with 2 or more people inside, right?
Right, and then leaving town, though, so if you're leaving town, the HOV is 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. And the reason they do that is because so much traffic flows into the city and so much traffic flows out of the city, and they try to get the number of cars coming into the city down by encouraging people to commute together, carpool.
Okay.
Oh,
The
wow.
signage is also different. We're on German Autobahn, usually in Germany you will get on the Autobahn and you will have signs that will lead you to the next city, so it will indicate the next city basically. Whereas in the United States you will often see north, south, east, west, and it won't mention a city. You will just have to know the direction that you need to go, right?
And that's that also, like, most American cars have compasses in them.
Yeah, and then nobody knows. Like, a lot of people are so confused, and me included, but, like, I just get so lost.
Right.
Where like, you don't ever see that in a German vehicle.
No, German cars usually don't have compasses. I mean,
But
yeah.
I don't know. It's crazy because like when I've been driving in Germany,
Yeah.
I'm so dependent on the compass, and then it doesn't matter. Like they don't like that's not how their road system. But like you'll just find yourself looking like, all right, am I going? You know, which way is this road taking me? Because we kind of like, oh well, I'm headed southeast. I'll eventually get there.
Right.
You know, so we do depend on that.
Yeah, I
you'll
don't.
see markers be like, 100 miles to Nashville or so.
Right.
But it will really skip a lot of like really small towns, and just kind of do like either like the mid majors or majors to kind of give you an idea of where you are.
Yeah, and that's similar in Germany actually. Alcohol level. What are the alcohol levels in? I guess in the States it probably varies from state to state, how it always is, right?
Oh, yeah.
Right, but I believe it's pretty much all the same in the sense it's 0.08 if you're 21 or older.
0.08 I think it equals
2 beers.
0.8 in the German promille kind of 0.8, 0.8 promille I think.
A beer an hour, actually.
And then if you're under 21, it's no tolerance.
Oh, yeah, of course, because you're not allowed to drink under 21.
Right, so it's no tolerance. And in Germany, I think your standard would translate to 0.05 here. So like a beer and a half, 2 beers.
Yeah, just about that. And then you get a ticket basically. And I think at a point of German 1.1 promille, or in English 0.11. I think that's when they take away your driver's license for at least a period of time for like.
Yeah, and you get a DUI here. It's automatic. You lose your license.
Okay.
Oh wow.
Yeah, there's no. I mean,
yeah, I'm not. I'm not sure about that here. I luckily have not had that issue.
And our DUI penalties are much stiffer here than they are in Germany.
Okay. How about mobile phones?
Each state depends, but there's more and more laws where it's going to be hands-free, so you don't want to use your cell phone.
Okay.
Or texting and driving is. I mean, there's a huge ad campaign right now with how like basically just as like a lot of people are dying from texting and driving.
Yeah.
And so they're really encouraging people not to do it, and the penalties are very stiff.
Okay.
Like with your tickets.
But it's not enforced all the time, right?
It's not enforced all the time.
I don't hear anybody getting pulled over for like any phone issues, like driving and talking, and I don't even know if that's really a thing to get. Yeah, I don't know about all of that.
Because it's so hard, because you can people can have their smartphones out and be like, oh, I'm using a GPS, or but really people encourage, like one thing I love about this car is I have a hand-free system.
Right.
So when I get in the car, the Bluetooth just automatically activates, and I can have Siri, talk to Siri. Siri can send my text, or I can receive phone calls and answer them verbally. So I don't.
That's so funny. Like that was when like that stuff started coming out. He's like, talking about Siri and how like explaining to him what it is, which maybe Germany doesn't have that kind of stuff yet, but you'd think so.
I don't have to ever have to have my phone in my hand.
How's Siri doing?
Siri's doing all right.
Oh, that's fine.
But yeah, texting and driving is a really bad habit to get into.
Right. In general, like, we gotta mention the Autobahn when we talk about driving, how it has the reputation of having no speed limits, which you will have quite a few speed limits on the German Autobahn actually. And what my experience though is driving on like road trips and doing long trips is so much more relaxing in the United States than it is in Germany, because in Germany you always have to watch out for really cars coming by that drive like 220 kilometers, what is like 150 miles or something. What's he doing? I'm taking a turn.
He's just hanging out in his pickup truck. No, but yeah.
So talking about the Autobahn though is I seen on one video that they don't get pulled over by the police for speeding and gets a speeding ticket. They actually it just gets sent to them in the mail. I'm not sure actually. Again, this is a little bit older of a video, but I'm not sure about that. Anybody knows? Let me know down in the comments.
I mean, I remember the time you and I rented a van. I don't know why we thought we wanted a van of all cars to rent, but we rented a van, and it was scary driving because we were topping out the van at like 110 kilometers per hour, and which is like 65, 70 miles per hour, and we were just getting past just non-stop. And like you're like, all right, well, we can't really speed this guy up.
Right, you got to focus so much. I'd rather drive like 4 hours in an American highway, or American interstate rather, than driving 1 hour on a German Autobahn. It's super, super exhausting also.
Oh, I'm sure it is exhausting to keep up. Oh gosh. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks, guys. Bye.